Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Crock of Gold, A Few Rounds with Shane MacGowan. And this is a new documentary focusing on punk rocker from Ireland, Shane MacGowan, and it's a doozy. This is like a 2 hour and 10 minute documentary, which honestly, you don't watch too many documentaries that wind up being that long. Is it worth it? I feel like this film's a little bit overlong, and director Julian Temple, I think, could have made some choices in terms of trimming things back a little bit, but basically what Temple chooses to do is just go full-blown into basically every aspect of Shane MacGowan's life. And what's the most interesting part of this film is that you get so many different kinds of perspectives and media to present his background. There's some fun animated sequences that bring a little life to the proceedings, shows some actual footage of him as a child, and some other dramatizations, mixing in black and white, different kinds of aspect ratios, different kinds, some of it's a little grainier than others, sometimes it's oversaturated in terms of color, and they're balancing all these different things to create an ambitious and vibrant documentary. And where the film might be a little overlong and might overstay its welcome and get a little repetitive at times, I feel like the amount of craft that Temple put into this documentary kind of balances that out. And not to mention, Shane MacGowan is a very intriguing person, and you get a lot of him in this film. There's interviews of him, there's little hangout sessions being filmed with him and producer Johnny Depp, and you really get a sense of who he is. You really get his personality. And it's always awesome seeing a documentary where you actually get to see the person, because usually it's a little unadulterated. You get to see that person in context. And this documentary doesn't shy away from showing some of his not so positive aspects. You see the alcohol, the drugs, you see how he is now dealing with broken hip, being in a wheelchair, and being in a very challenging state of life at this point in his 60s when this documentary was made. And you really do see the gambit of, from when he was a child, those influences, the Irish life, how that influenced him moving forward, and also how he was involved in so many important things in Irish culture, especially the time of Irish Revolution and the IRA, and being a part of that culture that bred that want to fight for freedom in Ireland. And you really get a sense of the impact that MacGowan made on his community. You get to see him perform his music, which there's a lot of energy, it's a lot of fun. Those are really fun and engaging moments in the documentary. And you get to hear from very different perspectives, whether it's his parents or his influencers, those who he influenced. You get so many different dynamics in this documentary that it feels so very full and flourished and filled out. And I think that's the most impressive piece of Temple's documentary here, is that you get the full picture, for better or for worse. There's some things that probably could have been trimmed back, could have been less focused on, made this a little bit leaner, but they go all in on this documentary to really paint a wide breadth of a portrait of MacGowan and the influences that he made in his own society and the influences that his society made on him. A lot of F words, a lot of them in this film. And you really get that attitude, that Irish fighting spirit. And I think this is a special documentary. It's an investment. It's going to be feels all 2 hours and 10 minutes of it. But you learn a lot. You get a lot of different perspectives. And in the end, I think it really is worth the venture. So check out Crock of Gold. But those are my thoughts on this new documentary. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.